It's an island foodscape takeover. If anybody asks, we call it permaculture. Planting seeds, we secure our family's future. What you give is what you got from the roots on up. What you give is what you got from the roots on up. What you give is what you got from the roots on up. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dash Kuhr.
I'm Erika.
And we're with Hip Agriculture, and this episode is going to be all about making plant medicine. We've been growing and utilizing all these plants for years on our farm. And I really want people to think that plant medicine should be something that's easy and accessible and in your backyard. Still, 80% of the world's population utilizes plant medicine to support health and healing. Today, we're going to be working on creating a simple decoction, a tea or infusion.
We're going to use guayusa, which we grow on the farm, a relative of yerba mate, really high in antioxidants, and it does have some matting in there, so we use it as a breakfast tea. I'm going to use the dried version because it comes out a little bit less green flavored, and we're going to add in to our tea so it's not so plain and simple, some olena and some tulsi from the farm.
We're also going to add some ashwagandha. So she's going to start mixing up that tea, we'll get it boiling, and we'll have a nice garden fresh tea.
We're going to let the tea simmer for 10 to 15 minutes while we work on learning about the compress with comfrey. Comfrey is an amazing herb we plant all around our gardens on the edges, and it's really this nice, beautiful barrier. The other name for comfrey is knit bone. So it's helping to heal bone injuries or muscle injuries, and we use it more so externally.
Really good for bruises and any kind of like sprain on the ankles or any kind of a tendon soreness. You can use that on your joints as well.
So I've had a really sore knee, so I think this is going to be something I can just make up right now and put on after we're done with this. I'm just going to chop up the comfrey a little bit because we're going to put it in a cloth. And then you can pound it, or I'm just going to kind of activate it in the hot water.
It's really nice to heat a large noni leaf, and you can heat that, and then we can use that as a wrap on top of the comfrey and wrap it, and it's going to hold the medicine in there a little bit better. So I'm going to heat this.
I'm going to take the heated comfrey that you could also just masticate in a blender with a little bit of water and put it in this cloth that I'm just going to be able to apply over onto my knee for healing. So the healing compound in comfrey, one of them, there's I'm sure many, is allantoin. And allantoin is good for cell repair and growth. And this is something that we can just place on your elbow, or if you have a shoulder. You're going to do a compress 1 to 3 times a day. Comfrey
is known to be as a bioaccumulator, so it accumulates minerals and nutrients out of the soil, and it is a really rich food, and you can cook it as a cooking green. It's something that can be incorporated into soups, or you could add it into a stir fry, and definitely an important plant ally to have in your garden. Here's some beautiful turmeric or olena that we harvested from our farm. We do a wide range of ways that we extract medicine out of here. We make juice with a blender. We'll blend it up with water and extract that juice. We'll also run it through a kind of cold press juicer if we want to just get the straight juice. We also make a tea out of it where we chop it and boil it and then add honey and make a nice honey tea. Or we add it into soups and stir fries and cooking. We also here on the farm make a beautiful olena powder, which we dehydrate, grind, and sift. And that's really easy to just drink in some water or throw into a meal. So today we're going to be doing a more traditional extraction, which is more akin to maybe how the Hawaiians would extract it. Traditionally they'd use like what, coconut fiber, but we got these nylon bags now that we use. So.
Once you pound it a little bit more, then we can squeeze it. And this is just a little setup that I use for straining our decoctions. I love just having a colander, a bowl, and it's set above, so it just catches so I can set this down, and then the juice will go underneath.
An ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. And I think olena, it's been shown to be just that most important spice of life that is going to improve our digestion. It's going to reduce toxins in our bloodstream. It's going to reduce inflammation in our body. It's going to give us longevity and health.
So when our kids are sick or not sick, the best way that we get turmeric is we use the powder and make golden milk or put it in a tea with hot water and honey, or warm up some milk and ghee, add the turmeric powder and some honey, and we drink it as a beverage to consume it with our kids, besides just adding it into a lot of the foods that I cook. Yep. The off-grid version of turmeric juice. Nice.
So we grow all these incredible plants, and then it's how do you get the medicine out of them? How do you do it? How do you extract it? So today we're going to be making some ashwagandha tincture. We like to do alcohol extraction. And this is the ashwagandha plant, one of the lateral roots. You can see it can run these long roots, and it does have a very strong smell. And that's where they say smell of a horse.
Strong as a horse.
And it can impart the strength of a horse. So dense, woodier material like this, you're not going to just be able to pour hot water over it and make a tea. You need to actually boil that plant for a while and create what we call a decoction. That's like a hot water extraction over time. And it could be up to an hour that you're boiling that root to really get the medicine out. An alternative is to create an alcohol extraction.
Usually we use a higher strength alcohol. And for our tinctures that we find best, it's most medicinal, is we have the alcohol extraction mixed with the water extraction, and that's what goes into our tincture we sell at HAPA. So we're just preparing this in small pieces. You know, just like on our farm, we don't have a machine yet, but we would like one. We do it all by hand. And so we're going to be putting the ashwagandha that's cleaned and cut into small pieces into a jar. So once we have all of the ashwagandha root in here, we're going to cover it with alcohol and let it sit from a full moon to a full moon cycle, so at least 28 days.
While the herb is sitting in the alcohol, that's a really good time. You would like to agitate it daily. It's really good to shake the jar every day during that cycle that it's curing, and that's just going to help the alcohol, you know, further the extraction process. A good kind of baseline guide or rule of thumb is that some herbs that you say harvested from your garden, you're going to go about halfway up the jar. About 50% of the volume of that jar is going to be your herb that you're tincturing, and then the rest is going to be alcohol. You're maybe going to leave a little bit of space, so you just have some room to shake that jar and get a really good agitation.
So we have the alcohol in there. We're just going to put the lid on and let it sit for 28 days, a full moon cycle, and we place it out in a place where we're going to just shake it daily.
I want to give it a little shake.
Nice.
Once this is sat for about a month, you can just simply pour this through a filter and strain it, and then you have your tincture that will last a very long time. That's a really stable form of the medicine and something you can keep in your medicine cabinet almost indefinitely. Goto Cola is another incredible herbal medicine that can just be growing right at your feet. This is a weed for us here on the farm. It's a weed that once we identify it, we start taking care of it and help it to grow more luxurious and establish as a ground cover. Wide range of ways to utilize it. We make a tincture of this on the farm. We'll make a hot water infusion or tea out of it. And then my friend, an herbalist, turned me onto this recipe to make a Goto Cola lemonade, which I really enjoy. You can also eat it raw. Just a few leaves a day, or you can incorporate it into a salad.
Let's see, how lemonade do we want it?
I'll let you decide, chefy queen.
How much honey?
A third of that, quarter. All right, we're gonna blend this up.
All right.
All right, we're just gonna strain some of the fiber out. I'm gonna hold it up a little.
So we have a green lemonade here. Lemon, honey, Goto Cola. All right. Let's pour this tea out and have a sip. And then we can share with our friends.
All right, so many years of mental health and acuity.
Nice. We did good.
Perfect blend. No bitterness.
Lemony.
Really refreshing.
Sweet.
I could drink this every day. I probably should drink this every day. Now we're going to be sharing about Kava or Ava, which is one of my very favorite medicinal plants that we grow on the farm. And it was Kai Kaholo Kai that really got us inspired to grow it and to use it. And what Uncle always taught us, he was a Lapa practitioner here in this area, is that Ava helps you to relax and focus. There's a variety of ways that Ava is utilized here in Hawaii. It can be used in a very ceremonial setting with a lot of strict protocol. It's also can be drunken casually with friends, like in the numerous Ava bars that we have around the island, or it could be used medicinally and prepared for people that have really conditions. It's extremely good against anxiety, insomnia. This is a muscle relaxant, and so it's good if you have any kind of muscle pain or tiredness.
When we harvest we usually get the luxury to chew on it while we're working, and you get some of the medicine and the bitterness there.
It's very numbing. The kava lactones are the active constituents, and you can really feel them on your tongue when you have a strong Ava beverage. Usually, if you're purchasing kava, often you're only going to have access to a dried powder. That's often what you'd get in a supermarket. Here on the farm, what we create is a fresh frozen product where we grind it and freeze it. So this is Ava that has not been ground, of freshly harvested laterals, and then this is Ava that's been run through a machine and ground. If you have the fresh root, the fresh Ava, what we do is we just grind this up in a blender, and then we squeeze it or extract it through one of these nut milk bags. And so for today, for our demonstration, because we already have some ground Ava, we're just going to do a cold water extraction. And cold water extraction is the traditional way of extracting the Ava.
Usually for Ava, you want to massage the bag to really get all of the kava out for about 5 to 10 minutes. You know, if there's a larger quantity, you might go longer. And to make a li'i grade, we can mix in fresh coconut water. Sometimes we add a little bit of coconut milk. Most often we just drink it plain with water. One of our favorite ways to gather with all of the farm crew here at Hip Ag is around a bowl of Ava. We've all been working hard and we can't wait to just have a relaxing drink, sit down together, have a conversation. It's also another way that we welcome people to our farm, and so as a way to say hello, welcome, or goodbye. A real easy way to consume Ava when you don't have time to make the cold water extraction here is that we also have an alcohol extraction with our kava from Hip Ag Farm. So this is something we keep at our bedside when Dash is having trouble sleeping, or we're just, had lots of conversations or worked on the computer late at night. We'll take a couple dropperfuls of this to help us with our sleep. This is the elixir of the South Pacific. All over the Pacific Islands, people drink kava.
Ava i kohala.
Ava i kohala.
Mala kekua. Delicious.
Woo!
A little numbing. Very refreshing.
All right, we have our farm fresh tea of guayusa, olena, and some tulsi, also known as holy basil. And we're just going to pour it directly from there into our cup and enjoy a nice cup of tea.
Cheers. I like the tulsi. It's really nice. Strong turmeric. Okay, well, these are some of the ways that we prepare plant medicine from our farm. We hope that this episode will really inspire you to grow more things in your backyard and utilize more herbal medicine to increase wellness, health, and happiness.
I feel the magic living in my bones, and I have eyes to see